Today our theme is Dream Your Future, and our NOCE students that are joining us are here because they're interested in transitioning to college after NOCE. We're going to be talking about financial aid and more to help you succeed in college. We want to encourage all of you to get connected, try new things, and ask for help along your journey. What you can expect today in this virtual conference is a showcase of college programs and services, how to connect with the colleges, and then ending with a financial aid overview, and then a question and answer session. Our guest speakers from Fullerton and Cypress College are going to moderate and present, along with several college students who have volunteered to be here, so thank you especially for being here today as a representative of Fullerton and Cypress College. NOCE students, you're welcome to ask questions in our chat function as we move along. Belinda Sanchez is my co-moderator, and she'll be monitoring the chat to answer those questions. When you have a question that you want to ask by voice, feel free to unmute yourself, and then we'll go ahead and take care of questions that way. Before we proceed further, I just want to thank all of the members of the NOCE Dream Your Future Planning Committee. The list is there, and you can see there's quite a few people that were involved in planning this 3-session webinar. Also, we have a nice group of guests from Fullerton College and Cypress College, and we sincerely thank each and every one of you for being here to share your expertise and insights with our NOCE students. So now we're going to begin our showcase of programs and services. I want to emphasize to you that this is only a showcase because there's a multitude of programs that are not represented here today. We've just decided to highlight a few of the ones that might be most interesting to you when you're getting started at the colleges. And there are a lot of overlap in the programs between the colleges. So just because you see a program listed under the Fullerton College column or the Cypress College column doesn't mean that that program doesn't exist at the other school. But we've asked representatives from each school to overview their programs, and we encourage you to visit the college websites to take a look at all of the other services that are available. Before we get started with the individual programs, though, I'd like to pause and ask both Cassandra and Melissa to welcome all of you today on behalf of their colleges.
Hi, okay, I'll start. So, hi everyone, my name's Cassandra. I'm the coordinator for outreach and the Charger Experience program at Cypress College. I'm so happy to be here and to be able to share with you some of the amazing student support services that Cypress College has to offer. And like Linda said, these aren't the only services that we offer. These are just the ones that we chose to highlight today. So I just wanted to say hello, and I look forward to working with you all and seeing you all very soon.
Thank you, Cassandra. With that, Melissa, would you like to take over and introduce yourself and welcome everybody on behalf of Fullerton College?
Sure. So hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. I'm excited to be here and just welcome you to the space of Fullerton College. We have some amazing programs, support programs that we're going to feature today. And so I thank you to my colleagues that are on this webinar today to get some more information about that. I am the Marketing and Outreach Assistant in the Office of Campus Communications. So you can get in touch with me at any time to ask questions about some of our services or to get you connected with the right programs. I will put my email in the chat function, and then you can definitely reach out to me or any of our other colleagues here on representing Fullerton College. With that, just welcome, and I look forward to working with you as well.
Thank you. Okay, Melissa, go ahead and address this if you would, please.
Yeah, so we did want to give you just some support that's available right now during this time that we're experiencing most of our remote learning. So last month we launched our laptop loan program so that we had laptops that are available for students to check out and be supported through the online learning environment. So those are available for any current student as long as we have them available. From what I know right now, we still have available laptops that can be issued to students that are in need. So I listed there on the bottom of this slide a website where you can access the actual form to request a laptop once you're enrolled. So right now, I believe they're only taking laptop requests for summer, but that might be pretty slow around until that summer classes actually start. The second image you see there is our campus, our free campus Wi-Fi support. So if you are not able to access Wi-Fi from home, you need access to Wi-Fi, we have our 4 is available to access Wi-Fi. And again, all of our distance education is online in terms of the website. So if you were to go to online.fullcall.edu, you can access support for all of our distance education workshops that can also help you be an effective learner, an effective remote learner. That's that.
Great. Now we have Daniel Lewis from the Strategic Diversity Success Initiative at Fullerton College. Daniel?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well, and I'm happy that you are here. So I'm with, like Linda said, I'm Daniel Luis. I'm with the SDSI. So I'm just going to break down a couple things that we do at SDSI. So we have a personal counselor, an academic counselor at SDSI. So this is someone you could continuously meet and someone that's easily accessible. She's the type of individual that you're able to contact if you have any general questions about classes, about what direction you want to take. You know, if sometimes I understand that it's difficult navigating through the school by yourself. So, you know, she's here to support in any way. She's also helps you plan out your schedules for the next semesters, sets up ed plans. And then there's also life skills coaching, which is me and 2 other individuals. We help you create like short-term goals, such as, you know, hey, you know what, I want to pass with a 2.0 or a 3.0 or a 4.0. We check up with you every 2 weeks. You know, we kind of hold you accountable and we kind of see, hey, you know, what type of support do you need? And, you know, what other things might help you reach these objectives. We also help you with time management. I know some of you, you know, whether it's your first time at Fullerton College or, you know, you're a returning student or any other, you know, identity that you might have, time management is really important. We also help with professional development, such as something as small as, you know, hey, email etiquette. How do I email a professor, or how do I email someone on campus, you know, to get the response that you want. We also help out, you know, researching scholarships. We pretty much help you find all the resources that you possibly can at Fullerton College. And we also do a good job at, you know, helping you connect with other programs such as EOPS, MOJA, the Academic Support Center. We try to help you. Like personally, like I like taking students to all these other resources because, you know, sometimes it's like, hey, you know, it's over here across the campus. And then sometimes you're like, you know what? I don't really want to walk all the way over there. It's pretty far. But sometimes what I like doing sometimes is like, hey, you know what? Let's walk together to this place and let's go ask. You know, let's go find what you're looking for. And even if, you know, there's certain things that, you know, you might be looking for outside of campus as well, we try to help you find resources. So, you know, anything you're looking for, we try to help you out in that sense. And we also like connecting you with other programs on campus because we feel it's important to feel connected as a whole. And then as you will probably hear and be mentioned a lot, we also have our own personal laptop loan program, where as long as you're enrolled in 3 units, you're able to borrow one of our own laptops as well. And then if you have any more questions or, you know, you're interested in joining SDSI, at the bottom right there is our email. It's sdsI@fullcall.edu. And then we'll make sure to, you know, if you have any questions, we'll make sure to provide you with any answers.
That's great, Daniel. Thank you so much. I have one follow-up question for you, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Can you share just very briefly a little bit about the Grads to Be program that's at both Fullerton and Cypress College?
Yes. So I'm not entirely knowledgeable about it, but we connect with them in the sense where they help students that may be undocumented or AB 540 in any of that sense. They help out with that aspect. I can provide more information.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out because it was something that was mentioned on your slide here, and I think it's a really important program. So thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay, now we are going to ask Brandy Avila from Fullerton College if you can say a few words to our students today about the MOJA program.
Yes, of course. Hi, everybody. I'm Brandy, and I'm the manager of the MOJA Community Program. And MOJA is a Kiswahili word that translates to mean unity in English. And we are a student support program that supports the entire student. So we have support in the areas of academics, as well as the personal and professional side that students typically improve upon when they're in college. So some things that we do to support that are under the academic side of the house. We do offer, like SDSI, a laptop lending program for our MOJA scholars, as well as textbook support. Our students also take courses together. So this fall, students in the MOJA program can take a Counseling 151 class, and in spring, they have the opportunity to take an Ethnic Studies 130 class together, so that they're not only building community inside the MOJA village space, but they're also building networks and community and friendships, long-lasting friendships with one another in the classroom. But we also go on professional conferences, so and cultural excursions. So we go to the MOJA conference, the African American Success Summit, as well as universities tours, including the an HBCU tour, which is an out-of-state tour that is 1 week long. And so we're hoping that once all of this is settled, we'll actually be able to go, because our trip during spring break was canceled. But by the time you come back on, hopefully you'll be able to join us for those sorts of things. I'm going to give our contact information really quickly. It's MOJA, UMOJA, at fullcall.edu. And our website is moja.fullcall.edu. And I'm gonna cut myself short because I actually have two people here who I feel have more important things to say, and they are MOJA scholars as well as MOJA student staff. So I'm gonna turn it over to JP, and he's one of our peer mentors and tutors. And then he'll turn it over to Trisha, who's one of our student program assistants.
Hi everyone, thank you all for having me. My name is JP Wiafi. I've been at Fullerton College for about 3 years now. And something that I really am glad that I was able to find was the MOJA program. Just having that daily interaction with students every day and being able to work with them and to teach them and also learn from them, and to give back to them and be their standing support has changed my life in an immense way. And I really appreciate working with students. You know, it's almost like a newfound passion, if you will. So yeah, one other student that we also have is Trisha. I've also worked with Trisha, and maybe she'd like to say something as well in regards to the MOJA community program.
Hi guys, thank you for having me. I am Trisha James. This is going to be my 3rd year at Fullerton College. I'm also a communications major, and I am really honestly so thankful for having MOJA on my campus. It's a safe space for me to be myself and also build a community there. All of my friends are from MOJA, and MOJA to me is not just a group of friends, I should say. It's more of a family, and then also MOJA has really helped me work and grow skills to talk to other people. So yeah, thank you.
So I've put our contact information into the chat. You can fill out an application on our website, and from there, we'll take your contact information and we'll give you a call or send you an email to answer any questions that you might have, and also just to welcome you to the campus and to the program.
Thank you so much, Brandy and JP and Trisha. Really appreciate you guys being here and taking the time to introduce the program today to NOCE students. We'd like to go ahead and move on to the EOPS program, if you don't mind. I believe that we have Yannette on the line, available to speak with us today. Yannette, would you like to take over and address the details we see here about EOPS?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Zinette and I work as an outreach at EOPS Fullerton College. And I'm going to start off with the services. First of all, one of the services that we provide is get the first priority registration. What that means is that you'll be the first students to register for your classes and do your schedule, days and times as soon as possible, because we have like about 25,000 students at Fullerton College and classes get really, really full. Another one, and the second one, that's the one that I really love, is the Book Service Award. The Book Service Award, we give out money for books. So every semester, we give you about $200, $300. Sometimes it varies because we're state funded, but we give you that money for books, just because I'm gonna give you an example. A math book is about $100. It's really expensive. Another one is that we have the book lending program. So if that award is done, you don't have that money, we have the book lending program at the library, and we can lend you any books that we have available for you. Also, we have our own counselors that can guide you through any classes that you want to take in, so you would not also take the wrong classes. Another one is that we have a financial aid specialist. Sometimes that application can be really, really overwhelming, so we have a specialist that can help you one-on-one with that. We also have tutoring services that can help you with it up to 1 hour. So those are the services that we provide. It's really, really amazing. Now we're gonna go for the qualifications. You have to be a California resident or be an AB 540 student. An AB 540 student is non-documented student that's that's been taking classes at California or in high school, or in California and graduated. Also, you have to be enrolled as a full-time student. If for some reason you can't be a full-time student, you can talk to one of the EOPS counselors and they can accommodate you with that. Okay, also you have to complete less than 40 degree applicable units. You do have to qualify for the California Community College Promise Grant. Okay, and you must at least meet one of these educational qualifiers. No high school diploma, GED, or equivalent, high school graduate with a 2.5 GPA or below, first generation college student, underrepresented student population, and current or former foster youth. Our information is in the bottom. I'm sure you can see it on the link. If you guys want to screenshot it, take a picture of it. It's eops.fulcol.edu, our email and phone number. I would also put my information in the chat.
Thank you, Yannette. Do you mind also talking about the CARE and the foster youth programs?
Yeah, I'll talk a little brief about CARE. So CARE program, EOPS also has a CARE program that branches off with CARE. Is for students, single parents that are going back to the community college or want to get any resources or help from the community college. They receive a lot of help. And basically with the help that they receive is get meal cards, get transportation help. They also get a lot of scholarships for them, a lot of grants. If you guys want more information and you guys you guys could get contact with Betty. Her information is in the bottom. It's Betty Resendes. In the bottom, also below of it, is her email, website, and direct line. And we also have the foster youth. So EOPS branches off with the foster youth. They also get a lot of grants, a lot of scholarships, a lot of help with it as well. They also get the gas transportation. So EOPS just goes above and beyond. It's a super amazing program, and I hope that you guys will apply.
Thank you so much, Yannette. I hope so too. There's your contact information also, Yannette, that you shared with me about all of the representatives in your office?
Correct. The main one is Andre Strong. He's our coordinator. and that's his email, and that's his direct line phone number. The second one is me, Yannette Camarillo. That's my email. If you guys have any questions, need any help in anything, I'm more willing to help out as much as I can, okay, or get you start networking with other people.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I wanted to mention also, while we're on the topic of EOPS, because it is such an important program, that they do have the same program at Cypress College, but since Yannette did such a beautiful job covering all the details, we're just going to have Yannette speak today. Now we're going to move to highlight some of the programs at Cypress College. As I mentioned, they do have the EOPS program as well as the CARE program. Their foster youth program is called the Guardian Scholars Program. And you can see on your screen the contact information for Cypress College. Next, we have Teresa Cassins from the Library and Learning Resource Center. Teresa?
Hi, everyone. So you can see on the screen there, the Library Learning Resource Center is one building with 2 different departments. The library has help an online chat service. We have textbook checkouts that are free. For every math class you're in, you can also check out a calculator. And then the LRC, which is our tutoring center, we check out instructional materials. We can check out laptops just like Fullerton College. You just have to be an enrolled Cypress student. We have tutoring that's free. You get 30 minutes per class. So you can do multiple sessions in a row. If you're EOPS and DSS, you can get 30 minutes per class a week, or sorry, an hour per class per week. We also have an online technology help desk at Cypress. So if you have questions, you need help with Microsoft Office, with Canvas, any of that, we have that help as well. So a lot of the same services they have at Fullerton, we have them at Cypress as well. So either place, although Cypress is better. Thanks.
No bias, right?
We're amazing.
Teresa, can you also mention just briefly the accommodations that you guys have been able to start making for the distance education challenges that we're having during this time?
Yeah, so we've checked out laptops to students as well as some of our textbooks in the library. Calculators, students take those home. We have Chromebooks for most students. We have laptops if they need something a little bit more advanced. And then we also have MacBooks if somebody's in an art class. We also, the DE team at Cypress is available pretty much 24/7. So we help students online. We do Zoom sessions with them on how to submit assignments. We have, we're developing a student orientation on how to use Canvas. And then we have a lot of different products that we put in there. We're very conscious of some of the DSS students. So we have a program called Ally that does closed captioning and accessibility for any students that need a little bit of help with materials. What it also does is it allows some of the materials that faculty put up in their Canvas classes to actually be transformed into either a PDF that can be read, or some of them can actually become audio files. And so because students study in different ways, we're trying to make that as seamless as possible and less stressful, because I know the world is very stressful right now.
That's for sure. Thank you. That sounds amazing. I'm really glad that you guys have so much to offer.
Yes.
Laron, if you'd like to go ahead and take over and introduce the Legacy program, that would be fantastic.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laron Armstead. I'm the Legacy Program Counselor. And I've been working at Cypress and for Legacy for about 3 years now. And so as you can see from the slide, the Legacy program is a multicultural first-year transfer program that focuses on the African-American perspective. So in our English classes, a lot of the literature and textbooks will be derived from past African-American heroes and public figures. One of our goals is to put all of the students within cohorts. So when you're a first-year student, you take English, counseling, one of our INDS classes in your major class, and you're usually in these classes with the same 25 or 30 people. And our goal is to help students transfer or just reach their educational goal at any cost. You know, and also we provide wraparound services, free books, campus tours, mentors, and we also feed our students on Mondays. And that's really, you know, what we do. It's a good program.
I'm sure that helps a lot of people feel pretty comfy on campus. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so that, you know, the free Mondays, free food Mondays, you know, a lot of kids, you know, even if they're not in the program, you know, we still feed them too as well, but it's a good situation. And we're similar to a MOJA. We're pretty much like a, you know, like a sub kind of group of theirs, hoping to go over to a MOJA, and Puente too as well. So it's just a wonderful program, and if anyone is interested, please join one of these fantastic programs.
I think that you also had shared with me this slide, if you don't mind talking about that briefly.
Yeah, no problem. So in our program, we have 2 tracks because we know sometimes, you know, we have non-traditional students and students that just can't commit to the classes that we offer in our program. So we have our program, which is normally for, like, you know, first-year students. They'll take in their first semester Counseling 150, which I'm the instructor of, our INDS 115, and that's the Professor Rhymes. She's the coordinator. We also have English 100 and also a GE class. So that's really like a student's first semester courses. And then we also, that's the program. And then also in the community, students can take like either the counseling class or INDS, you know, if they just want to be a part of the program, but within like a limited kind of capacity. So it's 2 ways to join. Either you can be all in, or you can kind of be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and still enjoy all of the benefits.
What are the topics in Counseling 150 and Counseling 160? What's the difference in those 2 courses, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So Counseling 160 is more of just strictly transferring, you know, showing students the GE plans, their major requirements, and everything it takes for students to get from the community college system into their 4-year institution. So we go over everything: applications, GEs, major requirements, and things like that. Where Counseling 150, it's more like the breakdown of the whole person. Right, we go over behavior disorders, stress management, how to be successful in college, and then also in a Counseling 150, I incorporate, you know, different kind of career assessments and life assessments too. So the Counseling 150 is more of like a holistic class. So we try to look at the student from a holistic standpoint and develop them as a, you know, individual, their academics, their, you know, whatever they're dealing with socially and things like that. And then Counseling 160 is more just like a straight transfer, how to transfer and what are their steps to transferring.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your information about Legacy. I know it's a really helpful, huge program, and a great opportunity for students to be involved in. So next, we'd like to have Summer just to speak on the disability support services that are available at Cypress College. And Summer, before you get started, I will just mention to our listeners and participants here today that there is a disability support services program also at Fullerton College, but today Cypress College is going to highlight their program.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here and so excited that you're here. Obviously, I'm so excited that I jumped the gun and put my info in the chat, and my fingers hit enter before my brain told it to stop. So that information is already there in the chat, but we'll drop that again at the end. I am the coordinator for DSS at Cypress College, and we offer academic accommodations for students taking 4 college credit courses. So if you're currently being serviced by the DSS office at NOCE, or you have a diagnosed disability you're not getting services for, you may want to register with us to get some of our amazing services. So as you can see here, we have several services and accommodations that we offer, and these are just a few examples. Most of the accommodations we offer are going to be specific to your disability. So we use the documentation that you submit to determine those accommodations. To enroll with our program, all you have to do is submit that documentation either through our website, and we have the link here on the slide, but I will also drop that in the chat. You can click on that link and upload those documents to me, or once we're back on campus, you can come into the office and bring those in. So the documents that we can accept are a copy of an IEP or 504 plan. With those, we want to have all of the documents. So if you have a psychological report, speech and language assessment, triennial, anything like that, we would ask that you include it. Also, you can bring a medical verification from a doctor, psychologist, or psychiatrist. So we have a form on our website if you don't already have documentation that you can download and take to your medical provider. We also would like for you to include any high school or college transcripts, so that way the counselors can help you decide which classes you're going to take. So after you've submitted all of your documentation, you'll meet with the counselor in our office, and they'll go over which accommodations you qualify for. They can help you with picking your classes, all of the good stuff to get you going. Okay, so we make it really quick and simple for you to apply, and then you get all these amazing services. Once we are back on campus, I do encourage you to come by our office. We're located in the college complex right next door to the Student Center and Financial Aid. We have a lot of fun activities throughout the year and events. We have snacks in the front office. So if you're on campus and hungry and you want just something to munch on, you can swing by and grab a snack out of the front and say hi. And we'd love to see you on campus. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, Summer. I really appreciate that. Dave, would you like to speak about student activities and the other things that are offered through your office?
Sure, absolutely. My name is Dave Okawa, and I'm the director of the Student Activity Center at Cypress College. And we like to look at it as we're kind of the fun and active department. Studies show that when you're engaged on campus and you do extracurriculars, you tend to be more successful. We like to think we help part of that as well too. So hopefully you'll come and join us. We're kind of broken into 3 different parts. And basically our main student activity center, we have our game room. And of course, that's the fun and games part. We have a ping pong tables, and we're supposed to be getting a new indoor shuffleboard table. And there's also a foosball table, things of that nature is there. There's also a student lounge. So when you're in between classes, not only can you use the game room, you can also actually take some time to lounge around and possibly do some homework with your friends or gathering place with your friends as well. That also houses a computer lab. And the computer lab is to be utilized by our students who purchase our AS benefit sticker. That helps fund some of the cost of our student government, but as well as the running of that computer lab and all the materials that's provided there. One of the main important, I guess, areas that we are proud of is that we have our food pantry in the Student Activity Center as well. Really simple. You just need to be a current student of the semester. You fill out a 1-page form, pretty straightforward, and that's just for purposes that our partners, Pathways of Hope, who we work with, who help with inventory and things of that nature, that department has some accountability and trackability as well. Also, what you can find in our area is student leadership and student government. Our associated students is very active, and they do a lot of great things on campus. They serve on shared governance committee, which helps advocates for you as a student body in general. And also, we also have things that are events that are involved as well too. We do things such as Welcome Back Week. We partnership with the clubs, which I'll talk a little bit about more in a second. And we also have fun events that we put out as well. So you want to participate, you want to have fun. Even if you're not part of student government, you can participate in these activities as well. Part of the responsibility of student government associated students, there are 9 executive board officer spots, and there's also activities coordinators and senators. And this all centers around student advocacy and basically taking what the students are looking for or what some of the needs are, and our student government officials will then be sitting on committees, shared governance committees in particular, and that will allow you to be represented at those different levels and at those different campus committees. Also, the associated students are responsible for advocating not only on campus, but also at the regional level, which we're Region 8, which is a lot of Southern California, and also at the state level. So there's something called General Assembly. So if you're part of associate students and you want to be involved, there is a way to get involved even at the state level. So we have something called General Assembly, where all the college, community college campuses get together and have representatives show up and go over resolutions that we want to send forward at the state level. So let's talk a little bit more about student life. There are a number of clubs on campus. Some of them are curriculum affiliated. So let's just, for example, let's say there's the Anthropology Club. So that's related to anthropology. We have programs involved as well too. There's the Honors Club. There's a Legacy Club. Puente has their own version of things like that. So there's club involvement around campus. One of the ones that kind of came about was the Japanese Culture Club, which also does some anime. So just something a little more relevant and earlier in topics like that. Also, clubs have its own kind of governance. They have something called the Interclub Council. And the Interclub Council will have a club representative from every single club on campus. We have anywhere, it fluctuates a little bit, but we have anywhere from about 30 clubs to 35 clubs coming back and forth. So there's always something to get involved in, whether it's curriculum related, social, you know, or just getting together and students who have common interests. Some of the events involved is obviously Club Rush. That's where the clubs will go out and demonstrate, you know, what their club's about. Hopefully recruit some students to get involved as well. And so they also participate in some of our AS events, such as Finals Field, where we give out Scantrons, Blue Books, snacks, all that good stuff during finals to help you get through that week. So anyway, that's kind of the highlight in regards to the Student Activity Center. Like I said, we want to be known as a fun club, but we also want to do a lot of serious things on campus. And so hopefully you'll come and see us. I don't have it up on the slide, but you could reach us at studentactivities@cypresscollege.edu. And if you have any questions or you want to inquire a little bit more, we also do a lot of other things in our Student Activity Center, but we have a limited amount of time, so I don't want to cover that. But those are the main points. So if you please do have any questions, make sure you come and visit us or see us. You can also utilize and get through or reach us through the campus website at cypresscollege.edu under Student Live. So thank you very much. Everybody hopefully is healthy and safe and have fun, and hopefully we'll see you at Cypress College. Take care.
Thank you, Dave. Therese Mosqueda Ponce is our next speaker from the Puente Program.
All righty, let me unmute myself here. Yes, I'm Dr. Therese Mosqueda Ponce. I'm the counselor for the Puente Program at Cypress College. Puente, the word itself means bridge, bridging the community college students to the university. It started actually back in 1981 up north at a college called Chabot College, where a Mexican-American counselor was specifically hired to recruit Mexican-American students to go to college. So he did. But then unfortunately, within a few weeks, he was losing his students, and he thought, why am I losing my students? And he thought, I think it's because of English. Even though you were born and raised here, sometimes you're just passed along and you really don't learn where to put the commas and the semicolons and a good introductory paragraph and a thesis statement. And we all know that you need to be strong in English in order to be successful in college. So he got together with the English instructor and said, would you be willing to teach English, but with a Latino flavor? Have them read like Bless Me Ultima by Rudy Anaya or Rain of Gold by Victor Villaseñor. Give each student a mentor, somebody who's already a professional in the field they want to go into. Let them become their big brother, big sister for a year, visit their job site, interview them, etc. Let him, the counselor, be in the classroom of the English class as well, to be as a support system there in the classroom. So at that time, only 3% Latinos were transferring to the university. That's why he was hired. And as a result of this project, 66% transferred to the university. So then Berkeley got wind of it and said, hey, we want to sponsor this program. So Puente is actually out of the UC Regents, UC Outreach. And on the UC applications, it'll ask you, are you a Puente graduate? You still had to do the prerequisites, but if you can check off yes on that box, it's an extra boost to being accepted to the UC schools because you're one of theirs. The program started at Cypress. Unfortunately, it took a while to get started there. We weren't wanted at the beginning, but we came in strong in 1996, and we've been there ever since. And I've been the counselor ever since then. I love the program. Can you tell? I'm going on and on and on. But anyway, so the program is open to all students. You don't have to be Latino. Sometimes people think that, oh my God, I'm not Mexican-American, so I can't go into the program. I'm not Latino. No, it's open to all students. We have Asians, we have African-American, we have everybody is welcome. You just have to be willing to learn about the Latino culture and the Latino experience. Some of my Asian students say, I wanted to join this program because I'm going to be an entrepreneur in California. And I know that the Latino population is the fastest growing population, so I want to learn all I can about this community. I said, smart guy. So everyone is welcome. The only requirement that you have is that you be, well, now it's pretty much everybody's eligible for English 100. It used to be English 60, but now we changed the course to be English 101, as well as in Legacy, it's going to be English 101. Where it's a 5-unit course so that we can do some additional support in your English. So that at the end of the year, it's a year-long program. We start only in the fall, and then you'll take English 101, a 5-unit course, with the Counseling 150, like LaRon was talking about in Legacy. So I teach that course, the 150, and that's it for the fall. And then in the spring, you take Counseling 160, which LaRon mentioned too. It's pretty much the college university transition course with English 104, and you'll stay with the same English instructor. That's one thing I think is beautiful too, because I remember back in my day when I was taking English, it's like, okay, I got it. Then you go to the next instructor and they say, no, don't do it like that, do it like this. And so then I was all confused. This way you can stay with the same instructor the entire year. So you'll go on to English 104 and you can have the honors option, because our eyes, all Puente students are honor students. And so you'll be taking that course, as well as a Chicano studies class. This class, again, it's open to all, but this is required of the Puente students at Cypress College. And it fulfills their U.S. history requirement, a cultural diversity requirement. It counts in the humanities and in the social science area. So that one class counts in 4 different areas. So that will be in the spring. In the fall as well, this past year, it was wonderful because we were able to do all our field trips, because we do a lot of field trips. And because in our classes, we talk about the differences between a Cal State, a UC, and a private school. But instead of just telling you, we show you. So we go on field trips. We usually visit about 11 campuses throughout the year, and going from UC San Diego to UC Berkeley in the spring usually is when we do the northern trip. But so the program is open to all. We can only take 30 students though. So I will put my email in the chat here. It's tmponce@cypresscollege.edu. And so I encourage you to join this program because it's fantastic. And I have, as a matter of fact, one of my Puente graduates from class 5 who is now completing her master's degree, and she's interning with me. Her name is Maggie, and I'll let her talk about her experience briefly and then go into the application process. Maggie, if you don't mind.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Maggie Macias, and like Dr. Mosqueda Ponce said, I am from class 5. I'm very excited to speak about the Puente program because myself, I've experienced many wonderful opportunities while I was a student at Cypress College and I was in the Puente program. You get the support from just all the students all together, moving from one class to another. And as you know, when you are first generation student, it could be very difficult to transition, but with the Puente program, you feel like a familia, that's ultimately the whole objective of the Puente program. In addition to that, you're also I'm sorry, it just brings me back so many memories and so many wonderful experiences. But going back to what Dr. Mosqueda was saying is that you also get to have the mentor component to it, which really helps you throughout your whole entire educational journey. So I think that's the major support that you get through the program. So I'm so thankful to be part of it. And now as an intern, I have been able to give back to help out all the students that were in the Puente program just this last year. And if you have any further questions, please reach out. Thank you so much.
I noticed there was a question in the chat about since we only take 30 students, is there a wait list? Yes, it's always been first come, first serve. So on the application, I put my email in the chat. You can email me and I'll send you, because normally we would do everything in person because we like to meet the students and we're, like Maggie was saying, a familia, so we like to be with each other. But so now we're doing a Google Docs. Thanks to Maggie, she put our application on a Google Doc. So you'll be filling that out. So the first 30 that turn them in, they've been accepted. But then we'll start the wait list after that, because then we'll have an orientation 2 weeks prior to school starting to see who are the final 30 that will actually be completing the program and willing to make the commitment, because it is a year-long commitment that they have to make and include the field trips with that. So yes, we'll start a wait list after the first 30. And we usually, I mean, our first class, there was over 90 that wanted to get in and we can only take 30. So first come, first serve. And so I encourage you all to send me an email and I'll send you the application ASAP. And thank you so much. I know we took longer than what we were supposed to, sorry.
No, that's okay. We appreciate all the information. And Maggie, thank you so much for joining and being here as well.
Thank you for having me, everyone. And everyone is welcome to reach out, and we'll be sending out the application to anyone is interested. Thank you for having me.
So now we're going to transition to the next part of our webinar today to focus on how to connect to the colleges after NOCE. both Melissa Serrato and Cassandra Abreu are going to share some ideas with you about how to do that. Melissa, would you like to share the information about that you told me you wanted to share?
Sure. Yeah, I could do that. So we do have right now, since our typical campus tours are not available because the campus is closed, I do want to give you some information about how you can learn a little bit more about our campus and some of the buildings and the resources that are available in those buildings. Last year, we launched a Fullerton College mobile app. And so that mobile app is available in the App Store or on Google Play. And it also, basically you download the Fullerton College mobile app and it'll give you access to the interactive tour that we have available on that app. So I showed you there just basically a few small steps on how to get there. So you would just download the app. You would go to the Maps and Tours section, and then you can begin a tour and learn more about some of those programs and resources that are within the buildings.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's really useful, especially these days as we're all staying home.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, we're going to have Cassandra speak about some things that are coming up this summer, I believe.
So I wanted to talk to you about our Charger Experience program. I want to talk to you about some of the benefits, so that way you can have something to look forward to for the fall. And in addition to this, like Linda said, I'll go ahead and list some dates that are available for you to kind of jot down and note when we will be like registering for classes and all of that stuff. So for the benefits for the Charger Experience program, we give fall 2020 priority registration. You have personalized support from CEP counselors. You get to build a peer support network because we have different meetings and different events where you can kind of come on and get to know different students. We even have these events online virtually. So check your emails for that if you decide you want to attend Cypress and be a part of this program. We have free tuition during your first 2 fall and spring terms. We have coaches to assist you in your transition to Cypress College. And we have mentors, so students who are looking to support other students during their first year, you know, kind of help guiding you, answering any questions you might have, concerns like, hey, what's a good teacher for English 100? And they'll give you an idea like, hey, I'm thinking about joining Puente. Have you heard about that program? They'll try to match you up with someone that has similar interests to you. And we guarantee courses in math, English, counseling, etc. And then my next slide is the requirements. So we require students to enroll in math and English during your first year. We make you do a counseling course, 140 or 151 during your first year, which are really awesome courses that kind of prepare you for the type of major that you want to be in, getting your academic plan all squared away so that way you know what path you're on. And we make sure that you meet with a counselor at least once a semester, so that way you can make sure you're on the right path with your counselor, that you're doing all the things you need to do to reach your goal. And other requirements that we have, these are the dates that we were talking about before, is that we will have our virtual summer orientation June 22nd through the 25th. So kind of write that down in your calendar. We'll kind of be going over our program, different opportunities that will be available to you during the fall. So June 22nd and 25th. We have our summer kickoff event, which is registration, and that's July 6th through the 10th. So we help you with registering online. We'll help you kind of navigate where you should be registering, if you need help putting yourself on a wait list, answering any questions you might have, because counselors will be there to help guide you. Making sure that you're doing 12 to 15 units of coursework every semester at Cypress, and that you're completing the FAFSA or DREAM Act application every year, and that you complete 2 on-campus activities at least every semester. And the activities are really fun and they're very useful. Like sometimes we'll just have you go attend a career panel session, or when we had them in person, hopefully we can be back in person very soon. We had a donut stress day where we had donuts and coffee and tea, and we kind of just helped you talk through if you had any like anxiety, or you could just like be there, eat the donut, enjoy a little conversation with the counselor, and then leave. So I wanted to make sure if you wanted to be a part of this program and take advantage of the free 2 years tuition free, you want to make sure that you go on my gateway, you log on my gateway using your banner ID, you click the promise agreement at the top, and then you complete your promise agreement by answering all the questions, and then you submit. So I want you to stay connected to us. So if you're a social media user, you can follow us at Charger EXP. We also have an app called Cypress Connect app, and they kind of share like different new upcoming information, different things that are going on campus. Or you can contact me directly. So you can email me at kabreu@cypresscollege.edu. Don't call that phone number because I'm not in office these days, but you can email me or email either of these 2 emails, and I would be happy to get back to you. And if you want to set up a phone call because you work better that way, I'd be happy to get on the phone and chat with you. So I want to say thank you for letting me share information about our program, the different benefits, requirements, different dates that I want you to keep in mind. And I'm so excited to be able to see you all very soon. So thank you so much for coming, everyone. And thank you, Linda, for having us, and Fullerton for sharing all your resources as well. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you too, Cassandra. I really appreciate that. Sounds like some really great opportunities this summer. So now we're going to transition from the how to connect to the colleges to about 15 minutes with Nishad Marathe talking about financial aid. So Nishad is going to give us a very good overview. It's got enough detail that you will probably feel like you know what you need to know to get started with the colleges and financial aid. Nishad, would you like to go ahead and take over?
Hello, everyone. My name is Nishad Marathe. Just want to thank Linda for giving me an opportunity today to speak about financial aid. So financial aid, of course, is very important because for most of us, we worry when it's time to go to college, we worry about how we're going to be able to afford the expenses that we have in college, right? And so there's financial aid available, and there's a couple of factors that go into determining how much financial aid you can get. Okay, so one of the major factors out of the 2 major ones that there are, one of them is cost of attendance. And you can see this chart here gives you a breakdown of the cost of attendance of different universities in California. So community college, Cal State, UCs, and private universities, all right? And the purpose of this chart is not to encourage you or to discourage you to go to one school or another, but it's to give you an idea as to what kind of expenses you can expect to incur when you are enrolling in college. And so you can take a look at this. And every college that offers financial aid is required to publish these cost of attendance tables for you, so that you can see every year how much the estimated cost is going to be at a particular school, okay? So very important, cost of attendance is a major factor in determining how much financial aid that you might likely be eligible to receive. There's a second thing that determines your financial aid eligibility, and it's something called expected family contribution. And this expected family contribution is calculated based on the information that you provide on your FAFSA or your DREAM Act application. And so basically what you're going to do when you fill out this FAFSA, okay, is you're going to be providing tax information on this application. And this tax information is going to determine, is going to look at your income for both your parents, if you're required to provide your parents' income, as well as your income. And based on that income information and a bunch of other criteria that they look at on the FAFSA, they're going to determine something called EFC. Okay, and that EFC is basically a number. And what that number is it's an estimate as to how much your family can probably pay towards your education, right? So the higher that EFC number is, the less financial aid opportunities you might be eligible for. But the lower your EFC is, for instance, if your EFC number is 0, that means that you're most likely a candidate that's going to need the maximum amount of financial aid, or as much financial aid as you can get, okay? So that's basically the two factors that are taken into consideration when determining your eligibility for financial aid. So you look here, you take the cost of attendance, which is whatever the cost of attendance is at a particular school. You subtract that EFC number, so how much you as well as your family can pay towards your education. And you have something called financial need, right? So after you contribute whatever funds or whatever resources you have to pay for your college, the financial need is estimating how much financial need you still have. And that's what the financial aid offices of these different schools are using to determine how much financial aid you need, okay? And we're looking to fill that financial need with things like grants, with scholarships, with student loans, employment opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so there's 2 applications, right, that you would use to fill out and apply for financial aid. The first application is called the FAFSA, FAFSA, and FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And the FAFSA is intended for US citizens and eligible non-citizens, right? So eligible non-citizens, these are students that have typically green cards and either some sort of approved immigration status by the US Immigration and Naturalization Services, okay? Now, if based on this, you're not able to fill out the FAFSA, you are eligible for financial aid through the state of California. And so the state of California also offers financial aid opportunities, but you would fill out the California DREAM Act application. This California DREAM Act application is intended for students that are considered undocumented, okay? And they can apply for state financial aid if they meet certain criteria, and we'll go over that in a bit. Now, the priority deadline every year when you apply for financial aid is March 2nd, okay? So it doesn't mean that you can't apply after that deadline. What it means is that you're given priority if you apply on or before March 2nd for certain financial aid, whereas you may not, you may have a lesser opportunity to become eligible for certain financial aid if you apply after March 2nd. So for this year, if you haven't applied yet, please go ahead and feel free to apply and make sure you do, because you're still giving yourself an opportunity to get especially federal financial aid, okay? So the first is the FAFSA, okay? That stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And the website is listed here, fafsa.ed.gov. You can go to that website and you can apply on that website. They also have a mobile app for you if you are interested in applying using your mobile device. So you can, that app is called My Student, the My Student Aid app, and you can download that. So the application every year becomes available October 1st. Okay, so every year while you're in college, you're gonna look for that application and apply beginning October 1st. And again, the priority deadline is March 2nd. The California DREAM Act application, again, this is intended for students that are considered undocumented, okay? And in this case, unfortunately, as of right now, the federal government does not provide financial aid, but the state of California has determined that these particular students should and are eligible for financial aid. And in that case, you would fill out a separate application that's called the DREAM Act application. And you can visit their website at dream.csac.ca.gov. Now, if you are eligible for state financial aid, you would meet certain criteria, okay? So basically you would have to have a high school diploma or a GED. You would have had to do at least 3 years of K through 12 within the state of California or community college. And you are planning on applying for financial aid and attending a California college, right? So if you meet these 3 criteria, then you are eligible for state financial aid. And very, very important to mention is that the information that's collected on the DREAM Act application is not shared with any agency or any outside agency. It's only used specifically for the purpose of determining your financial aid eligibility in California. So there's different types of financial aid that you can apply for. And so when you are applying, when you fill out the FAFSA, right, the good news is you don't have to fill out multiple applications. You're applying for the federal financial aid that comes from the federal government. You're also applying for state financial aid. And some scholarship opportunities also might become available as a result of the information that you provide on your FAFSA. Okay, so there's 3 major sources of financial aid: federal, state, and scholarship. So federal aid, so from the federal government, there's the Pell Grant. That's the primary grant that you're applying for. It's based on the EFC number that's on your FAFSA. So the Pell Grant you can receive for up to 6 full-time years of college, all right? There's the Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant. That's an additional grant that you can apply for if you have or demonstrate that you have a lot of financial need. There's employment opportunities through the work study program. And there's also loans, right? The state of California offers the California College Promise Grant. This is the fee waiver. They offer the Cal Grant. And the Cal Grant is available for a total of 4 full-time years while you're in college. And they also offer an additional grant called the Student Success Completion Grant. So in terms of grants, the Pell Grant is the primary award, as I mentioned, that you're applying for. That is the award that you're applying for that's based on that expected family contribution. So if your expected family contribution is 0, meaning based on the information on your FAFSA, you and your family may not have any income or any funds to put towards your college, or not very much. If your EFC is 0, then you're eligible for the maximum amount of financial aid that's out there, okay? And for the current academic year and for 2020-21, that amount is $6,195 annually for a full-time student. There's the Federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant. These are limited funds, and they're typically additional funds that are given to the colleges to award to students that have the most financial need. So typically they have that 0 EFC. If you are interested in receiving this, then you want to try to fill out your FAFSA as early as you possibly can. Okay, so October 1st, that application becomes available. Try to get that application in on October 1st. The Cal Grant, that comes from the state of California. So when we talk about the March 2nd priority deadline, this is actually where that March 2nd priority deadline comes in. And that's to give you an opportunity to receive state financial aid for the Cal Grant. And so the Cal Grant, if you apply on or before March 2nd, you may get this. And it's intended for, there's a couple of different types of Cal Grants, which we'll go over in a bit. And then there's also the Student Success Completion Grant, which is awarded to Cal Grant recipients. And these Cal Grant recipients, if you are full-time in 12 or more units, you could receive up to $2,000 per semester. So there is definitely a very, very big advantage to applying early and trying to get that application in on or before March 2nd. So in terms of Cal Grants, there's three main types of Cal Grant. There's a Cal Grant A. The Cal Grant A is intended for students that are at the four-year universities, right? UCs, Cal States, and private universities such as USC. So the students that are going directly there are typically the ones that are going to be eligible for Cal Grant A. Cal Grant B is intended for students that are planning on attending the two-year colleges, such as the community college. And typically this is intended for students that are working on an associate's degree and planning on transferring over to the four-year university. And then there's a Cal Grant C. The Cal Grant C is intended for students that are working on some sort of vocational or career training program at the community college, or any other private trade school where you would work on some sort of career training program. So this is the Cal Grant C, okay? So the Cal Grant A and B is offered for a total of 4 years. The Cal Grant C is offered for a total of 2 years. So again, very important, your application, your FAFSA or DREAM Act application should be in on or before March 2nd to give yourself the best opportunity to get these state awards. And then there's also something called a GPA verification, which also has to be submitted on or before March 2nd. Now, if you are in the high school program with NOCE, your high school program can actually submit a GPA verification for you through the registrar's office. Now, if you don't have a GPA submitted, the good news is you can attend the community college. Once you attend the community college, after you complete 16 units, you can be eligible for the Cal Grant at that point, okay? Now, you can set up an account for Web Grants. Web Grants is the website you would look at to see your eligibility for Cal Grant. You can set up a website, it's listed below, webgrantsforstudents.org. The Federal Work-Study Program. This is an exciting opportunity that's offered through the Department of Education by filling out the FAFSA. So if you fill out the FAFSA, then you are also giving yourself an opportunity to apply for the Federal Work-Study Program. And what this is actually an opportunity to work on campus and earn some additional income in addition to the Pell Grant. And these are typically part-time employment opportunities. And the purpose of the Federal Work-Study Program is to provide you an employment opportunity that's going to support your educational goals. So you can apply for a position that might be related to your major. You have an opportunity to have a part-time employment opportunity that you can base the hours based on your school schedule. And this is considered an additional grant for working. And so this additional grant, you don't have to repay these funds back. You don't have to report them on your taxes. And so these are some of the tremendous advantages of the Federal Work-Study Program. Now, if you are interested in this program, very important, make sure you apply early. So fill out your FAFSA as early as you can and try to come to the Cypress College Financial Aid Office or reach out to us to apply as soon as you can. Typically, we start looking at applications during the summer prior to the fall semester. So as soon as you get an opportunity, go ahead and reach out to us so that we can get you started on a work-study application. So these opportunities are on a first-come, first-served basis. So we try to hire as many students as we can. And of course, if we don't have any more space left, then you will be placed on a waiting list until some opportunities open. Finally, for the federal aid, the Federal Direct Loan Program. Now, if in addition to the state and the federal grants, in addition to that, if you need some additional financial assistance, then there is the Federal Direct Loan Program. If you are interested in this, please be aware you do have to be enrolled in at least 6 units in order to apply. And the reason why we talk about this last and try to put it at the end is because, as you can see on the bottom here, this poor guy that's holding a big ball and chain at the end, the federal direct loans have to be paid back after you graduate from your program or you stop attending. Okay, so consider it as an investment in your future, or something that you're only going to take out as an emergency, but do be aware that you do have to pay it back once you stop attending your program. So try to limit how many loans that you take out, if at all possible. The California College Promise Grant, this is the fee waiver. And so if you fill out the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application, if you have financial need, then you are going to be eligible for the fee waiver. And what the fee waiver basically does is it waives your $46 per unit enrollment fees. So if you are eligible, you can take as many classes as you want during the fall, the spring, and the summer sessions. And that California College Promise Grant will waive your enrollment fees, okay? In addition to that, it takes $5 off of your parking permit as well. So very important, in order to receive the Promise Grant, you have to maintain a 2.0 GPA or better, and you have to complete 50% of the courses that you attempt, okay? And we'll go over satisfactory academic progress in a little bit. Now, the good news about the fee waiver is if you're not eligible for any other forms of financial aid, at least fill out the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application to give yourself an opportunity to get the California College Promise Grant. At Cypress College, about 75% of the students that attend our college end up becoming eligible for this fee waiver. So if you don't have to pay those $46 per unit enrollment fees, that's going to help you a lot, and it's going to help you save a lot of money. So make sure, if for no other reason, that you at least apply to get the fee waiver. So after considering all of these financial aid opportunities, it's very important to remember that financial aid is only offered for a limited amount of time. And the purpose of financial aid is to help you get through your program and to help you complete your degree here. So for that reason, there are some expectations. Okay, so you do have to maintain a 2.0 GPA or higher while you're attending. You do have to complete 67% or better of the courses that you attend. So if you're taking 4 classes and you get an A in 2 classes, but you withdraw out of 2 classes in the middle of the semester, you have a 4.0 GPA, but you only have a 50% completion rate. Okay, so that's not going to get it done in terms of getting completed with your program and maintaining your financial aid eligibility. And then finally, at the community college, the primary degrees that we offer are associate's degree. Okay, so you can get financial aid for up to 150% of the length of the program that you study. So if you take a 60-unit associate's degree program, if you multiply that by 150%, you are allowed to attempt 90 units and receive financial aid from it, okay? Now, if you don't meet one or more of the aspects of satisfactory academic progress, then we may want to hear from you and have you discuss with us what the reason is that you might not be able to meet the criteria of SAP, okay? So in order to make sure that you meet satisfactory academic progress, we went over today, we had some guest speakers of lots of different programs. Please access all of those programs, counseling, student activities, legacy, EOPS, and I apologize if I'm missing any, DSS. These are all very important programs that are going to help you successfully get through your program, okay? And so make sure you access all of these. Make sure you meet with a counselor regularly to help you determine what classes that you're going to take and to make sure that you're staying on track to complete your degree. So I do want to go over a little bit about the North Orange Promise. As you may know, through the North Orange Promise, the first 2 years of community college are paid for in terms of your enrollment fees. Okay, so in order to apply, you want to make sure that you fill out an application to Cypress or Fullerton College. You want to make sure that you fill out a North Orange Promise agreement, and that agreement is available on My Gateway. Do remember that you have to be enrolled in at least 12 or more units in order to be eligible for the North Orange Promise. And then financial aid. You want to make sure you fill out the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application. That is a requirement of the North Orange Promise program. And if there is any additional documentation that the financial aid office is requesting for you, make sure you complete all of that and provide all of the documentation that we're requesting. Once you do that, then you could become eligible for this North Orange Promise program. So a little bit of homework for you while you are at home, being quarantined, hopefully, and staying safe. Definitely step one, you want to make sure you fill out a financial aid application if you haven't already. And again, for students that are US citizens and eligible non-citizens, the application is the FAFSA, and you can fill that out at fafsa.gov. That application, when you fill it out, you're applying for both federal as well as state financial aid. Now, if you are only eligible for state financial aid, you're going to be filling out the DREAM Act application, okay? And that's for state financial aid. Once you fill out the application, it typically takes around 3 to 5 days for us to receive your application. Once we do receive your application, we will send you an email letting you know that we've received your application. We're also going to send you an email to let you know if there's any additional documentation that you need to submit to our office. So please make sure you follow up with the financial aid office and make sure that whatever questions that we might have, that those are being answered, okay, in a timely manner.
Well, that's all that we've got planned for today, everybody. I want to thank you again for taking the time to be here with us, and we'll entertain questions for a minute or two before we wrap things up. If anybody has anything more that they'd like to ask us about, we're happy to take those questions.
I do have a question, I'd say, for Nishad, real quick, in regard to financial aid.
Yes.
Are you still with us? If a student's parents have not filed income taxes, what do they do if their parents have not filed income taxes?
Well, there's a couple of answers to that question, actually. So the first is not everyone is required to file. So if you earned below a certain amount of income, then you're not required to file. So if the parents did not file because they were not required to, then basically on the FAFSA, there's a response when it asks if you have filed. There's a response that says that you will not file, you're not going to file. Now, for the parents that were required to file but didn't, then it's very important that they make sure that they file their taxes as soon as possible, because not filing if you were required to could affect the student's eligibility. So if the parent did not file, or if the parents did not file and they were supposed to, then as the college, we actually can't give out financial aid until you file. So the good news is we don't need tax return transcripts, so something you order directly from the IRS. So if you haven't filed, make sure you file, and then we can accept a signed copy of your tax returns as verification that you filed.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not seeing any other questions, I think I'll go ahead
I have a question, Linda.
Oh, wonderful.
You guys are talking about students that live with their parents, but actually I'm a single mother that want to go to college. So I know someone talk about single parents programs or something like that. So there's resources or program for single parents, right?
Yes, actually, that's the CARE program. It branches off with EOPS. So, for instance, if you received any government assistance like HealthFresh or any TAF, like food stamps, most likely you'll qualify into that program. There is a lot of help. If you want to email me, I'll send you like a private chat, and I'll send you an email. I could give you more information with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Nishad, can you also comment about a person applying for financial aid when they are no longer a dependent or living with their parents?
Yes. So basically a dependent student is someone that's typically they're under the age of 24 and they don't have any special circumstances. So if you're under the age of 24 and you don't have the special circumstances such as if you're married or you have children or other dependents, and there's a bunch of other special circumstances that they will ask you about on the FAFSA. If you say no to all of those questions, you're considered a dependent. And if you're a dependent, that means that you would have to provide your tax information if you worked, for the particular year that they're asking, which is 2018. And you would also have to provide your parents' tax information as well, okay? And you would also have to provide your parents' signature on the FAFSA. Now, if you're independent, that means you're either the age of 24 or older. In that case, you do not have to provide parents' tax information. Your parents do not need to sign your FAFSA. You don't have to provide any of your parents' information. And also, if you meet some of the special circumstances, so you're married, you have children, you are in foster care, there's a number of special circumstances that they look at. So that's considered independent. So if it's independent, they're only specifically looking at the student's income and the student and the spouse if the student is married. So I think those are the key differences between dependent and independent.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that for us. Again, we want to wish everybody a fantastic afternoon and, more importantly, a great journey towards college after NOCE. Thank you all again for being here today. Have a wonderful evening.